Hey, what's up, y'all? It's me, Nate Almighty, and I'm back with another Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 3 theory and prediction video. And today, my theory suggests that it will in fact be Jukebox who kills before Kanan. My theory also suggests why Kanan is likely to not even catch a body this season. I know a lot of us are anticipating it, even myself, but I've been going over this show and I'm now looking, or at least considering, things going in a different direction. I will present all the evidence that supports my theory and makes it relevant. This video is going to be another banger, so go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel so y'all can get this fire every day. Now, without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, y'all, so let's break it down like this. When you examine the character progression of both Jukebox and Kanan respectively, it's very clear that they both are getting closer and closer to becoming the hardened savages that we all have come to love from within the OG Power series. Even though there's been speculation on the internet about when Jukebox would get her first kill and who that person would be, I see even more people who outright assume that Kanan would be the person to catch a solo kill of the two. And of course, we all know technically D-Wiz and Kanan killed Buck 20 together, but Kanan does not claim that body and doesn't talk about it and moves as if it never happens. He let D-Wiz claim that body, and thus D-Wiz suffered the consequences of catching that body. Now, if you from the hood and ever played the streets, there's a good chance you have jumped other kids during a fight. Y'all know how it be when you young in the hood. You know, your block, y'all have y'all little clique, and then someone else from another block and his friends, they'll have their little clique. And when y'all run into each other at school, or y'all run into each other at the store, whatever, y'all might end up fighting each other. This is real young back in the day, before like gunplay comes into effect, right? Right? There's a good chance you jumped other kids during a fight before. And yeah, you won because you outnumbered your opponent. But now think about the time you ran the one-on-one fade and won that. That feeling of accomplishment is different. There's a different layer of importance, right? This is why some people say that jumping does not count, right? Like, you're not tough because you jumped somebody, right? Also, the writers most likely intend of Kanan's first solo kill to be more personal than the Buck 20 kill. And they plan for it to have a bigger impact on his mental health after the fact, just like it would be for Jukebox. So the basis of my theory is that the show, and maybe even OG Power, has already given us signs that it will be Kanan's big sister Jukebox who crosses all the way over into the dark side before Kanan does. And that is why it was said in OG Power that Kanan called Jukebox after he caught his first body. I just don't think we officially seen that scene happen yet in its full entirety. So with that being said, these are the reasons why Jukebox will get into the murder game before Kanan, and Kanan will need her after he finally does it on his own. Now, before season 3 even starts, we already know that Jukebox is braver and more street savvy than Kanan, and always had been. In fact, she created Kanan, the drug dealer, and taught him how to hustle in season 1. And by this time the series began, we already knew that Jukebox grew up harder than Kanan, and her real life circumstances forced her to have to grow up quickly. By that point, she was already practically an orphan due to the fact that her mother abandoned her, and her father Marvin had to serve time in prison while she was very young. And she actually would have been an orphan if Rock didn't step in and raise her. Because have you seen Joyce Thomas's Cooking? she was not going to get Jukebox. And then when you add to the fact that she had the fight with Marvin in season 1, Jukebox I'm referring to, Jukebox may have killed her own mother if Marvin hadn't improved himself and wasn't there to comfort her after the church incident. So including losing her first love, Nicole, because of Kanan, there is no way Kanan is matching Jukebox when it comes to anger and aggression. Jukebox, unlike Kanan, has literally never shown an ounce of fear towards anyone or any situation the entire series. She's way more on the edge than Kanan as well. She got that controlling nature and cunning mind of Rock with the psychotic temper of Marvin. She's way more likely to kill on her own before Kanan. And when Crystal tells Kanan in episode 8 how she don't get along with Jukebox, that has to mean that when Jukebox catches up with her for getting her jumped, right? Kanan just may be with Crystal and have to choose between her and Jukebox. And when he stupidly tries to save her, right? We could also see Jukebox giving Kanan his neck scar, as well as seeing Jukebox brutally stab Crystal to death. I say stab because we already know Juke plays with knives. So unless she steals a gun from Marvin, or Rock gives her one for her safety around Ronnie, we find out why Juke had such a deep effect on Kanan many years later in OG Power. Because she had to have done something so heinous that it shook him to the core and stuck with him for the rest of his life. Jukebox was herbing Kanan in OG Power. She was in his head. She was in his head, right? And we know she doesn't fear Ronnie either at all. And she may already know he gay from Rock telling her, or her overhearing her mention it as a child. Mind you, Jukebox lives the alternative lifestyle as well. And she might have a radar for that. Right? And we know she doesn't fear Ronnie at all. Jukebox is a ticking time bomb, not Kanan. And with Marvin looking at so much trouble as well, or even if Aisha gets hurt for being next to Juke, or associating herself with Juke and Kanan, Juke's inner savage will show itself at any moment.